My background includes 20 years with the Navy as an intelligence officer. You can see my tours here. I did a lot of different jobs within the military. And afterwards, I served on the Joint Chiefs of Staff for a year. And again, I've been at Tulane for 7 years. I teach courses in counterterrorism and intelligence, and I'll turn over to my co-director, Dr. Becky Rouse.
Hey, good day, everybody. It's great to have you. Thanks for joining us. My name is Becky Rouse. My background is I'm retired Army, the Superior Fighting Force, I might add. And in the Army, in my 22 years, I had the opportunity to work as a military police officer, teach at West Point, and go to graduate school before that, and write speeches for combatant commanders, which is the 4-star folks who are in charge. And I say that because that's what interested me, got me first involved with Homeland Defense and Homeland Security. And from there, emergency management was a natural extension. So I had a bunch of cool gigs since then. Love to talk to folks about that. But most recently, I was with FEMA right before coming here full-time to teach with Dr. Wallace and his crew. And I help him in every conceivable way, but also to lead the emergency management program. I'm going to ask one other thing before we proceed too. As you're sitting here and enthralled with our conversation, if you would just tell us where you're at today when you're listening to us and what the temperature and weather's like, and text that into the chat box.
All right, so a little bit about SOPA. We are the School of Professional Advancement. We are a department of Tulane. And what sets us kind of special is the fact that we are dedicated from the beginning to serving adult learners. So we have worked with students who are just like, who are coming into the school, coming back to school after many years of being out of school, some who want to come back to just further their career or even do a different career change. So being a student here at SOPA means that you are getting an education formed directly to students like yourself, and we do all that we can to cater to your specific needs. So why is that important? Well, we provide programs that are rich in online programs that have the ability to give you all of the information and the tools that you need to be successful. We have a dynamic student support services here as well. And we are exceptionally affordable and very flexible. And why not do it and get an actual Tulane degree? It's the best catch of all. So a little bit of online learning at SOPA. So again, looking at the flexibility that SOPA has, we design our course where everything is available to you at the touch of your screen. So you are able to access all of your materials. You are engaging in informative videos as well as interactive simulations. You are able to collaborate with all of your peers through discussions. We have Zoom sessions at least four times a semester, just so that you can actually interact with your peers as well as your faculty member, your professors. And including in that, a lot of our faculty do guest speakers in the field that you are looking at entering. And so it makes learning a little bit more diverse and a little bit more intuitive for you. So just to give you an idea of how much online learning is happening over at SOPA, if you students that are about 1,400 students that complete over 12,000 hours of coursework online. That's a lot of hours, but it's because you're dedicated to actually doing the same amount of coursework that you would do while you're in class, and you're doing about the same online, if not a bit more, and the classes are designed to give you a bit more. We have 8 master's degrees, 11 graduate certificates. We have 4 post-baccalaureate certificates and over 320 courses that were developed online and taught online. I will say that the courses that are developed online are extremely, the process is extremely tedious, but I will say that the professors and the faculty that actually go through the online workshop to actually develop the courses for you, they work extremely hard. I know for sure because I went through it last semester to make sure that the classes are designed to meet your needs again. Our faculty is trained. And then again, it's quality online instruction. And we have actually won multiple awards and we are actually leading online education at Tulane. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Wallace so he can give you a little bit more information about the Homeland Security field.
Hi, everyone. Again, I'm Michael Wallace. I'm the director of the Emergency and Security Studies program, and I've been enjoying seeing where people are from and the temperatures. Steve and I did 2 tours in Norfolk and Virginia Beach, so it's good to see that. Well, it's not good to see. I mean, 57 and cloudy, but I'm enjoying again seeing where everyone's from. So Homeland Security is an extremely large field. It covers a lot of different parts. It was started after 9/11 as a response to the 9/11 attacks and the terrorism. It was set up to protect the United States against future terrorism attacks. But in 2005, we had Hurricane Katrina down here in New Orleans in Mississippi. And so the focus of Homeland Security shifted a bit. And instead of just focusing on man-made disasters and terrorism, it was all hazards. So both natural and man-made disasters. So you can see here, Homeland Security, the term itself or the field covers a lot of different ground: emergency management, critical infrastructure, cybersecurity, intelligence, terrorism, and then homeland defense and border security. And so within this field, there are a lot of different jobs you can do. The good thing about Homeland Security and emergency management is you can go anywhere in this country and at the local, state, or federal level, find jobs in these fields. So it's a very marketable skill to have, and our degrees will give you a very good background in many different areas of Homeland Security and emergency management. Next slide.
Okay, just talking a little bit about what emergency managers do. You probably think, I know what emergency managers do. They're the guys who manage emergencies, whatever that means. But of course, nowadays, it wasn't always true, but it certainly is true now. You find emergency managers in every single sector, every arena, every jurisdiction, every area that you can imagine. So that if you have a gas station on the corner that's part of a network, I guarantee there are emergency managers who have a role in planning evacuation or identifying hazards or exercising their plans or working with partners in communities such as New Orleans as an example. And down here in Tulane, of course, we partner with the New Orleans Homeland Security and Emergency Management Directorate. And with the folks over there, in fact, we have a couple projects going on with both NOLA and New Orleans, Louisiana, NOLA, and Tulane this term with our students. One's an undergraduate course and one's a graduate course. So we try to find real world opportunities for us to practice our skills and learn our competencies and have something to put on our resumes as projects that we've done. And I'm kind of jumping ahead because emergency managers start with every individual, including my mom and dad, and how they prepare their own family all the way up to the federal and national collaborative operations. Slide, please. And of course, I already stole my own thunder. Where do you find them? You find them everywhere. Just as an example, just looking at New Orleans, and this is just a microcosm of the world. Of course, you have emergency management on international and global scales. And in fact, we have a seminar coming up in a couple of weeks where we talk about Department of State and the kind of things they do in Homeland Security and emergency management realms. But just down here, you've got port operations, you've got oil and petroleum industry, you've got utilities. They continually or regularly have issues with flooding that they need to manage, water, sanitation. hurricanes in abundance. And oh, by the way, we have COVID. And oh, by the way, we have political transformation going on in our country and so on. So everybody in the community has got the need to be proficient in both emergency and security management for their entities, whether they're school districts or churches or small counties or large counties, big cities, corporations, manufacturing, in every industry and every government agency has got emergency managers and security managers that are professionals in their field, not just some guy that they hand the book to and say, you're in charge of it now.
So we have a number of degrees, both undergrad and grad. We do have a Bachelor's of Arts in Homeland Security Studies. You can see it here. It's made up of 30 credits for your major, and you can see the courses. It will give you a good background in the major parts of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We also have a post-baccalaureate degree for those who already have a bachelor's degree, but did not get it in Homeland Security or Emergency Management or things like that, and are interested in getting a post-baccalaureate certificate. This is made up of our undergrad classes in the Bachelor's of Homeland Security Studies. Next slide. And I guess I stole my own thunder on the post-baccalaureate. We also have graduate certificates. So these are master level courses that you take. It's the same application process as applying to a master's program. And actually these certificates can build on one another and can apply towards a master's degree. These are 4 classes, so they're 12 hours. And you can see in security management, emergency management, sport and event security, and our newest one that I'm very happy and proud of is our intelligence certificate. And that's made up of 2 analytical courses, a human intelligence and counterintelligence course, and an open source and information operations course. Next slide. And for the graduate side and master's degrees, we have 3. We have the Homeland Security. This is our oldest degree. It's been around since 2009. It just recently went through an update, and all of our master's degrees are 11 courses. There is some difference in what courses are core courses and what courses are elective, but all of them are 11 courses now. They do include a capstone, which ties in everything at the end of the program and allows you to use everything that you've learned in a project. For the Homeland Security Studies, this degree is focused more on the public side of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. I guess the big focus of this degree is intelligence and keeping the country safe. So we have a lot of courses on critical infrastructure, intelligence, terrorism, narco-terrorism, law and national security. So it's I think it's a very fun program. I'm a little biased, but again, it's designed by professionals, by those people who have been in the field. We've gone out and actually asked people in the field, if you could make your ideal graduate, what courses would this person have? And we've taken their input, and that's how we've designed these courses. And to graduate from the program, you must have a GPA of 3.0. And that's for all of the master's programs. Next slide. So the MPS and security management, that's focused more on private industry. As Dr. Rouse was saying, Homeland Security and emergency management and security management, it applies across the board. You have corporations that need security management and emergency management. You have hospitals. That's a huge area that a lot of people don't think of when they think of emergency management and security management. But again, it's 11 courses, and you can see the courses that are here. Again, a little bit different focus, more focused towards private industry. So you have physical infrastructure protection, risk management, corporate security, business continuity is another course that we include in there, and then cyber threats. Cyber is huge in all 3 fields. And we strongly suggest that students take at least 1 class during their time in the program. Next slide.
A Master of the MPS in Emergency Management, I'm sorry, also has 11 graduate courses, and we are in the middle of kind of shifting this one a little bit around. However, just to note that when it does change, it will be a little bit more flexible. And in fact, we already have injected flexibility into it. Some of the courses that we require and offer include health and medical issues. You can see a counterterrorism course, critical infrastructure protection, which is a great bridge between emergency management and Homeland Security directly. A business continuity, this is a course that I don't see it very many places, and we've kind of studied the field as we've designed the curriculum here. Emergency planning, of course, as our fellow who teaches emergency planning, it's an amazing class. And I swear, do not tell him I said this. But when he says it's one thing to be able to fly the plane, but do you know how to build it? That's the metaphor that he uses when he talks about how he trains folks to understand emergency planning. And then he proceeds to teach them how to actually plan for every conceivable crisis you can imagine. So a terrific class. And disaster communications is another. And we have obviously many more to choose from. Again, as Dr. Wallace said, it is a 3.0, but we are very encouraging, and your classmates are amazing. The people that you're going to meet in your classes are very helpful, and a lot of collaboration goes on. It's definitely cooperate and graduate and one team approach to this. Some of the things that you may work in, and I kind of beefed this up recently, because with a master's degree from Tulane University, which, come on, you're here, this is a world-class education that you're offered here in a prestigious university. The opportunities for you to serve in the field are at the highest levels. But if you feel a little more humble and you want to get your feet wet first, there's opportunities in emergency management to work at every single level of nonprofit organizations, governmental organizations, and private sector. Of course there are. So you see here, I'm not going to read these to you, but you get the idea. You cannot point to a single business that doesn't have emergency management with some function, some role in that. And that includes me sitting here looking across the street at my neighbor's house, the management of the city, the streets, the management for families to evacuate, and so on. Every single element is impacted and has opportunities in abundance in emergency management.
So one of the absolute strengths of our program is our faculty. Our faculty are all adjuncts, and what that means is that they actually work in the fields that they teach. So we have 3 examples here, and I'll just talk about one of our instructors, Meg McPherson. She works as an emergency manager for the Mount Sinai Hospital System in New York City. So she is on the front lines right now of COVID and how a hospital reacts in response to COVID, the lack of hospital beds, and they just had 2 snowstorms up there back to back. So how do you deal with that on top of COVID, on top of regular operations, on top of everything else that's going on? And another good thing is that a lot of your classmates are also in the field. So you will learn from your faculty, but you'll also learn from your classmates. So you really develop a good system of information, of contacts. Again, since our faculty work in the field, there are fonts of information that you can ask. If you have a class in intelligence and you decide, hey, this is what I want to do, you can ask that instructor, hey, how'd you get in this field? What do you like about it? What don't you like? And again, this is one of the strengths of our program. We are not wedded to the academic side. You will get theory, but you also get the practical side. And we think that's very important too. We call ourselves pracademics, and that's for a reason. We have legs in both worlds.
If I could join in on this slide as well, and Dr. Wallace did mention about the classmates you've got. We've got actively serving FBI agents, special agents. We have special agents in charge of field offices. We have Department of State. We have White House interns. I'm just thinking of folks in my last class. And we also have some world-class scholars. But the reason I mention this is when in dealing with these folks, first of all, you're going to learn so much. When I went to graduate school 100 years ago, I remember being taught you get smarter when you're around smart people. So it's the same in a professional sense. You're going to have a chance to interact with these folks, learn from them, get their perspectives, and teach them some things as well. But you also expand that network. Dr. Wallace mentioned contacts, but your network is critical in life, in engaging in your professions, and also in seeking career changes or career advancement, knowing other folks to contact and having that extension in our faculty. And this is just, gosh, we have 3 people on here, but I think Dr. Wallace, if I'm right, we have over 40 faculty, adjunct faculty from whom we draw, and that way we can have them specialize, in their field, as opposed to Becky Rouse teaching every licking class, and she couldn't possibly know as much as she's passing along. So that's something else too, that you'll find that in those classrooms, in dealing with these other folks who work in the fields, some fields that you might be interested in, that is also that rich and rewarding kind of exchange.
Yeah, and you'll keep these relationships. I have students or alums now who communicate with us to update us on where they are. Actually, some alums have taught for us or are teaching for us right now. So, once you enter this, it's a field it's a family that you'll always have, which is great. You can see here, graduates and students, like Dr. Rouse was saying, we have a wide variety, and it's not just federal government, it's all the way down to local government. One of the deputy directors of the New Orleans Homeland Security Emergency Management Office is a graduate of our program, and he actually teaches in the program now, and he's outstanding because he gives that unique perspective of local emergency management and Homeland Security. That's different from what somebody in the federal government will give you, but they're both very important perspectives to have. And again, we want our instructors to have a wide variety of experience and information to give you. I tell my students, it's in our best interest to make sure you're as prepared as we can make you, because you will be taking care of us someday. You can tell by my gray hair, I'm getting to the end. Dr. Rouse has many years in front of her, but I want people to be able to take care of me the best that they can. So we are very dedicated to this program. It's a labor of love, and if you apply and start this program, we want you to succeed. And so we'll do everything that we can to help you succeed. You have any other comments there, Dr. Rouse?
I'm afraid I'll steal from a future slide.
Okay. Next slide.
All right. So just as, just kind of piggying back a little bit, actually, after, Dr. Rouse and Dr. Wallace and some of the things that they've been saying, in addition to all the amazing resources that you'll get from your peers and from your faculty and from Dr. Rouse and from Dr. Wallace, you have of academic advisors, you have a career advisor, and again, just to kind of echo what Dr. Wallace was saying about alumni, you will also have the connection to a lot of alumni from your programs. Again, keeping those networks open is what's going to help you when it's time for you to graduate. And so getting out there, all of these resources are available to you currently, and then there are some resources that'll be available to you as an alumni.
Yeah, if I can just jump in real quick. Dr. Rouse actually mentioned this, but can you go back a slide? Our career person, I guess senior career advisor, she's hosting an event, I believe in a couple of weeks, with the Department of State ambassador in residence here. That's a great opportunity if you're interested in any career with the Department of State of asking questions. And these are things that we have during the year. And then if you go to a school like Tulane, one of the reasons you go is to use their alumni network. And not only within the program, but using the alumni network that Tulane has. That's a big plus of going to Tulane, and it's something that you should consider when looking at schools.
I actually do have something else to add, if you don't mind. We have two more panels coming up in our showcase series. We recently had representatives from the healthcare industry and Shell Oil Company who talked about emergency and security management. But the two future seminars are open to anybody. Y'all can, it doesn't matter where you end up going to school. If you end up going to school, we welcome your attendance and would love to have you join us. They're both virtual panel events, and you can write to any of the four of us, Ann, Amanda, Michael, or me, and we'll get you a link to where you can register for that seminar. It is and Ann says we'll be sending out an invitation. The next one is how to get a job or make a career in Homeland Security and emergency management. We've got some working professionals who have not only learned the hard and the easy way in some cases, but have certainly a huge repertoire of things they've done and positions they've held in these fields, just like Dr. Wallace and I have. And they're going to be talking to us. And then the last one will be on how to make something out of your education and translate it to those career fields. And we've got one of the vice presidents, a senior vice president for cybersecurity from MasterCard. And we've got the chief of training and education from NORAD and United States Northern Command. And they're going to be joining us on that panel. Those are in March and April, respectively.
So obviously today, hence the title of this webinar, admissions webinar for the Emergency and Security Studies programs, we want to actually apply to these programs. So applying is extremely easy. We actually have a full admissions team that can actually help you fill out the application if you have any questions or if you get stuck anywhere. But the application is online. $40 at the undergraduate level and $50 at the graduate level. But of course, for you attending today, your application fee will be waived. Make sure that you have a clear government ID to upload, as well as have your transcripts available. If you have unofficial ones, go ahead and load those up while you're waiting to get your official transcripts sent from your institutions over to SOPA. So make sure that you definitely have your official sent over. We use the unofficial just to kind of gauge everything, and we can conditionally admit you, but you won't be able to be fully admitted until you get your official transcripts. So of course the deadlines, if you are looking to come for summer, May 15th is the deadline. For fall, the deadline is August 1st. If you are still, debating and thinking that you won't be able to come until maybe 22, then we have January 1st as the spring deadline. But if you do decide to apply and once you're admitted, if you before a certain date, which we will get to those specific dates later on, you can get qualified for a $200 early enrollment scholarship. As a undergraduate student, and as a graduate student, you will be eligible for a $500 one-time early enrollment scholarship. So we have a lot of benefits of applying and enrolling at SOPA. Something else to keep in mind, just as though we were talking about transcripts, if you have experience in the industry, so if you have been a firefighter, or if you have worked for the FBI, if you have worked in any of the Homeland Security fields, if you've worked in emergency management for a number of years, and if you look at that we have offered for the programs, and if you see that you have an area of expertise in any of those courses, you can apply some of that to your degree. It's called credit for prior learning. If we can send you an assessment, and you can see exactly where you would fall into that work. At the graduate level, you can receive up to 6 credits. Now, this does not include transfer credits. So if you have started a graduate program elsewhere and you want to transfer credit, it's best for you to either speak with me or Dr. Wallace or Dr. Rouse about what makes more sense. So do you want to earn the credit for work experience, or do you want to use your transfer credits? Sometimes the credit for life experience may have a better benefit over the transfer credits, be able to combine both at the graduate level. So you can do each if you want it, or you can decide after speaking with us which one best fits for you. At the undergraduate level, you can receive up to 24 credits from the portfolio assessment. So once you identify where your areas lie, and it could be either in emergency or security studies, or you may have expertise somewhere else where it can count for other degree requirements, such as a humanities or a science or a social science. Those are also eligible as well. So you want to make sure that you go over this information with one of the advisors so that we can determine which route is best for you. Again, as a student, undergraduate student, you can transfer up to the credits if approved. But again, if you want to do credit for prior learning, you wouldn't be able to do both of all of those things. So I know it's a lot and it could be a little bit confusing, but if you have any questions, I'll put my email in the chat and you can send me an email and I can send you the questionnaire. Once you get the questionnaire, you'll identify which courses you would like to apply for credit for life experience. And okay, I see Anne has answered the question that there is no GRE requirement for graduate admissions. There is financial assistance available. There is a 20% discount on undergraduate and graduate. So for undergraduates, for a 20% discount, if you are a city, parish, or sheriff's office employee, as well as a housing authority employee, or if you're an active military personnel. At the graduate level, you can receive a 20% discount. If you are active military, if you are a veteran or an active or and retired public safety personnel as well. So firefighter, police officer, or paramedic. We do accept VA benefits. We are a Yellow Ribbon school as well. If you have any VA benefits that you would like to use, I am typing in Miss Belinda Ramey. She is awesome. And she can help you with all of your VA benefits for when you are ready to start school. In addition to these benefits, you also want to make sure that you fill out a FAFSA and fill those out now. Once you fill out your FAFSA and determine if you're eligible for any discounts, then we can kind of take everything from there. Again, we talk about affordability and flexibility that SOFA offers. The tuition at the undergraduate level for summer is $524 per credit of a 3 total credit course. So one course is at $524 per credit hour. At the graduate level, it's a little bit over $1,000 per credit hour. In the fall, just note that the tuition does increase a little bit, as usual, it's almost every academic year, but it's still affordable, and it's definitely cheaper for you to take and get a SOPA degree over taking classes at Tulane College, where it could be almost 10 grand a semester. So make things a little bit more affordable for you. Again, we do offer financial aid for those who are eligible, and it goes through the financial aid office, and you get that through FAFSA. All right, and if there are any questions, you can feel free to type it in the chat, or if you wanted to unmute yourself to ask a question, you can feel free to do that as well.
Yeah, and just to add to the question about admissions and if you need GRE or anything like that, what we look for in admissions, we actually look at your undergrad grades. We look when you graduated. We look at what you majored in. So we kind of take in a lot of different factors. Another thing that we require is a writing sample, and this is to this field is very dependent on you being able to express your thoughts or your information in a way that can make sense to other people. So those are the things we look at when we look at admissions. I will tell you, when I graduated from my bachelor's degree, I had a 2.7. Do not be discouraged if you have below a 3.0. Again, we look at the whole person, and we also take in consideration life experience. Does anyone have any questions for either Dr. Rouse or myself? Anything in the field? Anything?
Somebody's asking one in the chat. It says, can we talk about foreign language opportunities while taking one of the MPS degrees?
That's a good question. We do not have any foreign language courses, nor do we have the requirement to take a foreign language. You could take additional courses while you're at Tulane if you want to do that, but that would probably be outside of the degree itself.
But if you're talking about whether there are opportunities to use your foreign language, if that's maybe, I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Certainly, absolutely. And in fact, one of the things we're doing just recently is trying to build a project, I guess you'd say, with the which it's volunteer opportunities with American Red Cross. And of course, we've got them in the community. There's no limit to how many ways a person who's bilingual could potentially serve. Let's see here, it says, oh, quadrilingual. I'm not pronouncing that. Yeah. Edward says he's quadrilingual. And then Olivia says, I'm primarily interested in taking courses in French and or Arabic while in the graduate program. You know, I don't actually know, although there's plenty of French speaking down here, or at least you could teach me how to pronounce almost every word here that I can't pronounce, which is tied to French. But I don't know, Amanda or Ann, do you have any knowledge of the language learning opportunities down here?
Yes. So just as Dr. Wallace said, if you are interested in taking any courses that are outside of your program, if you're we're speaking for graduate program right now, so it's a little different at the undergraduate level, but at the graduate level, just keep in mind that, again, the maximum classes you can take a semester is 3 classes or 9 credits per semester. If you are interested in taking something that is outside of that, then it does need to go through a couple of different approval processes. Dr. Wallace or Dr. Rouse would need to know what exactly you would want to take outside of it, as well as myself. And if you're thinking about foreign language, there is a language placement exam that you would have to take. It's not super hard. It's just to see where you are. And then once you are determined by that assessment, if you are, fluent in French, or if you're fluent in Arabic and you just want to take a few more classes, the language department just would give you an override to take the course. So if you wanted to take that course in addition to 1 course in the MPS or 2 other courses in the MPS, you are able to do. Just note that it won't be counted to your degree. So it'll look like it's just an extra course that you're taking.
We do have students who have pursued multiple degrees at one time as well. So I suppose that would be in NTC that a person would study languages?
Yes, it would be over through NTC, yes.
But everything's possible. And Arabic, and well, and French are clearly 2 very useful languages in our field, especially for worldwide professional opportunities.
And if anyone has any additional questions after this, feel free to reach out to either myself or Dr. Rouse. You can see my email here, and Dr. Rouse can be found on the website. I'd be happy to talk to you about anything from careers to the academic program to the courses you take. So please let us know if you have any questions.
Well, thank you guys for attending. Again, feel free to ask any questions, and we'll be happy to answer those via email, or we can set up an appointment to further discuss anything else.